Most people think that career trajectories happen in like huge jumps, when in reality, that's not the case. Career trajectory can be attributed to what is called microshifting. And I want to talk about what I mean by that. Microshifting is essentially the ability to make small incremental changes into the things that you're already doing. And then over time, those changes compound into a much larger jump. And when I look back over my career, I've really been operating in this way over the span of my 13 years. But I just did not have the language to adequately call it out or convey what it was actually called. And like even in my day-to-day work, like if I'm dealing with an extremely complex logic or an extremely complex bug that I've been trying to iron out for the past 3 days, sometimes I might take a step back and I go back with that project or to that project with like a clear head or a different perspective. And when you think about that, that's intentional. Like I've always worked like that, but I didn't know what it was actually called. And a bigger scale from that, I've shifted from environments that focus on when you work to what you actually deliver. And that type of transformation essentially comes from being consistent with the type of work you deliver and gaining trust and just having that ability to be competent in your current role or the expectations that are set for you in that current role. It's not about like when you work. It's not. It's like, what are you doing over there? You know? And another huge opportunity to compound your work is to approach everything as if this task, this role, this project is going to be intentionally used by me to push me into that next space, whether it is a new role, whether it is a promotion, whether it is positioning you to be better fit to increase your salary, whatever your goal is. You should approach each project as an opportunity to kind of put in your toolbox to be able to do that. A good example of this is I had someone recently comment under my video that they wanted to quote unquote skip dashboards altogether and jump directly into analytics engineering. And that's when I came to the realization that I think there's a disconnect with how things actually work and how things compound over time. And what I mean by that, as someone that spent 2 years being a senior analytics engineer, that's not a role that you jump straight into. Now, you can get away without knowing how to build a dashboard depending on that company or that organization. But the primary purpose of an analytics engineer is to build data sets for production. So there's no way that you can come from outside of data and right into a very high risk role like that because it's very risky. If organizations don't have their data, they can't make decisions, they can't generate revenue. So therefore, the person that is functioning as an analytics engineer has to have a deep understanding of SQL, data relationships, upstream impacts, data dependencies. They have to understand data at its core, because if not, the company or the organization does not have access to their data. And if they don't have access to the data, they can't make the money. So it's just too big of a risk to jump straight into. Like I said, you could get away without building a dashboard, possibly as an analytics engineer. Some roles you might have to build a dashboard as an analytics engineer, but I don't know. But you have to understand data at its core to function in that space. You can't jump right in there. So it's not saying that you can't do it, but it's just essentially about fully understanding the paths that you need to take to get you there. So I'm actually going to talk about this a little further in another video where I talk about examples of micro shifting in your current role. So if this resonates with you, follow or subscribe. I hate this sounds so cringy, but anyway, y'all know where I'm at. Bye, y'all.